Good morning, my friend. I am sitting here after a long day and I'm ready to record this podcast episode. And I'm just feeling super inspired about this topic because it is something that has came up recently for me. And I've actually been in a situation where there was a good learning experience. Let's call it that. You guys have had those before, right? Where it's like maybe it didn't work out the way you thought it would, but it actually ended up being a good learning experience. And for me, it allowed me into this space of somebody who has a lot of things going for them, but maybe needed a little extra help. So I want to talk about what that looks like and what it means to want to search out a little more support through coaching and through this intuitive work that I do when you feel like a lot of things are going good. So in simple terms, this is for that person that is feeling pretty successful with business right now, that came from a little bit of struggle, but learned how to work hard and absolutely feels like they have faced all of their demons and, maybe not all, but they're pretty aware of where they came from and where they are now and feeling somewhat happy with that. We're going to talk about where that mentality comes in the background that says, I need to work hard. I can't step away. I can't let this go. I'm going to lose everything if I, take a longer vacation, whatever it is. And this is going to be a super awesome way to kind of take that desired outcome in the end and really dig deep and say, is this where I really want to be? Or is there actually more growth in my path that I'm ignoring because I'm satisfied? Ooh, this is fun. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No. This is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this, you are worth it, and you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in. Oh, I don't know if you guys have read Harv Eker's book, The Secret of the Millionaire Minds, but he says in that comfort is the enemy of the middle class. And I feel like I felt that right in my soul, let me tell you, because how many of us are just like, well, I just want to be comfortable. I want to be able to pay my bills and I want to be comfortable. Like, what does that even mean? But I feel like when we set ourselves up and we say, okay, this is what I want from life. I want my business to be X amount of dollars. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to hang out with my family. I want to be able to take some time off when I need it. This is how I see all of my life panning out. And then it's like we're working along. We get really used to that, hard work that we do. And one day we realize we've kind of made it, right? So at that phase, the question is, when do we stop dreaming? When do we stop having a bigger growth mindset? Because when you really hone in on growth mindset, it doesn't stop when you get to a certain level. And what tends to happen with a lot of people is they made it to where they wanted to go, and they allow that satisfaction and that feeling of success to hold them back from wanting anything more. Sometimes they feel like they don't deserve more. They feel like, okay, this is where it needs to be. The more money I add in, the more success I add in, the more troubles I have at home, right? The more issues I have with my family or whatever. So there's a lot of things in there. And I want to speak to those people today because it doesn't matter how much money you make, and it doesn't matter how successful you are right now, deemed successful, right? Doesn't matter if your studio's doing amazing, or if you've been married for 20 years and you guys are just living it up, right? There's always something more that we can grow towards. And that doesn't mean it has to be crappy. That doesn't mean it has to suck, right? It doesn't mean that we're back at level 1 where we're having to work our butts off all the time. No, it could mean that you just need a little bit more in that direction. And don't sell yourself short. This is not just for other people that haven't met their goals yet. Like, don't sell yourself short. You made your goal. Okay, make a new one. Let's go there, right? A lot of us tend to do that because honestly, most of us are generators. And that a person who's a generator in human design, I mean, that's what we do. We work hard. We have no issues working hard. And then when we end up getting to a spot, we feel satisfied and that feels good to us. So the other equation there is, but what if we just pushed a little bit more? And it doesn't mean you're unhappy. It doesn't mean that you can't, be happy in life. That's not what it's about. It's just about leveling up, right? I mean, we're not really here to meet some kind of invisible stopping point. I mean, at least I'm not. Maybe you are. But, when do we plateau? I hope never. I hope you never plateau. So what I see happens a lot, and I've been seeing this a lot with my photographer friends, so I'll stick with that analogy right now. But, they're like, well, I've made it this far. I feel pretty good. I don't really feel like I need to look at anything else. I'm not really feeling a pull towards any sort of therapy or healing or meditation. Because I'm already a survivor, right? Like, I've already done so much to get where I'm at because most of us didn't start off in a good place, right? So yeah, I don't really need anything more. I get support I need from my friend who's also a photographer, and then we have a group of photographers who go and get coffee once a month, and I get all the support I need from them, and y'all are not going to like this analogy. Maybe some of you will. But that is just like saying that someone who has a camera phone in their pocket should never hire a photographer, right? Well, what do they need that for when they have the camera? Man, we put so much emphasis on these friends and these acquaintances and these networks, right? Because they don't have the professional background. I hate to tell you that. They are friends. I'm not going to downplay that, but sometimes you need more than a friend. You need someone who's going to be able to see the whole picture, see the whole perspective, take a step back and say, you say you want this, but this is where I see that your actions are not meeting and matching with your words. Or you say you want this, but yet you don't do anything to point you in that direction, and then you blame yourself for not being able to do it, or you blame other people for holding you back when it's really yourself. I don't know any friends that are going to tell you that. Okay, I mean, I would, because that's what I do, but in general, none of your coffee dates are going to have that professional knowledge and background to be able to push you a little bit further and a little bit further. And so a lot of times we cop out. We say, well, who am I? Let me ask you this. Who am I to want more? Who am I to seem ungrateful for what I've already gotten by pushing for more? How does that feel? How does that hit for you? For me, yeah, that's a problem. There's some subconscious programs there. You guys know I talk a lot about that. But for my successful business people out there, for my successful artists, photographers, you guys know that what you bring to the table is super, super valuable, right? You know that, and you've dealt with these objections on your own where it's like, well, why would I hire you when I have XYZ? My sister just bought a camera. She's going to take boudoir shots of me. Okay, great. Have fun with that, right? Also the experience. Also, it's going to take you 6 hours to get, 3 good pictures. Whereas when you hire a professional, no, we're done in an hour, right? So there's a lot to be said here for the double standard that sometimes comes out with photographers in general, where it's just like, no, I don't need that. But yet when other people are looking at getting photographers, we always have a lot to say, don't we? We always have a lot to say about how, professionalism isn't just about shooting a camera that's a very expensive camera. Like, we actually have some kind of eye for it. We actually have some background on editing, right? So you can see where the lines get a little bit blurred. But I want to let you know that that's not necessarily just you. There's some steps that has to happen here, okay? One, you need to recognize that you're selling yourself short. That even though you made a good income this past year and you feel pretty good about it, you're actually selling yourself short by not leveling up any further and not looking at this seriously and expecting, random other photographers and friends to be able to help you with the support that you need for your business and your life, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that you have to recognize the value in the time that's being saved by pushing you forward with that kind of knowledge, right? When we have these programs, these childhood stuff or generational stuff that hasn't healed yet, and yet our business is successful, it's very hard to take a step back and look at that and say, oh, maybe there's some more to be done here. Like, that is not normal. Usually when people recognize they need a little bit more healing, it's because they're coming up against brick walls where they're like not able to get clients, where, their relationship with their spouse is in the crapper or whatever. So my point is, those things in the background, they will continue to stay there and they will continue to be there until you take care of them. And so sometimes that means pushing yourself out of your comfort zone before crap hits the fan and recognizing the value in having someone else help you strategically and emotionally and neurologically as you push through these other boundaries, right? And if you are someone who has a successful business, but you always seem to plateau at the same amount, that's another indication that there is some kind of money block there where you need a little extra help. Your photographer friends may not be able to help you with that. So this is just a way for you to think outside of where you're currently at. And even if it's an okay place and it's something you dreamt of, that doesn't mean you have to stop growing. That doesn't mean you can't push even further past this boundary that you have in front of you and scale, or, start doing that education that you want to do where you help other photographers to get to where you're at. Whatever it is, like, push yourself, get there, and if you're lacking any kind of confidence in that, or if you feel like you're not meant to do it anymore because XYZ, then hey, maybe it's time that I hire a coach for this, hire someone that not only knows your industry, but also has that backing and the knowledge behind intuitive healing and subconscious work, and is able to really help you make those massive transformations, because the amount of time that you can build your life and even level up higher than where you're at right now is cut, like completely cut, at least by half, when you hire somebody to help you with that. I can guarantee you that. That's what I have seen with my own eyes over and over again. And I know it's possible. So allow yourself to dream big. That's my message for you. Allow yourself to take another step up. Know you're worthy of it. Know that it's not selfish for you to want to grow further, right? And understand that there's people that you can hire to help you specifically with this issue. So yes, I hope this finds you well, you guys. Please check out the show notes. I will leave my link for my private sessions. Pretty soon I'm going to be launching a 3-month private coaching package that's specifically for people like what we talked about today that want to grow even bigger. They want that support. They want the one-on-one sessions, but also like weekly support through text on weekdays, access to my meditations, and just getting like that really one-on-one time with this kind of approach. It's going to be super invaluable to you if this is for you. You probably know it. You're probably feeling that in your gut right now, which is amazing. So let me know. Just shoot me an email. For the first couple people, I am doing something very special for them. And beyond that, I'm just excited for offering these people that I know absolutely are settling right now for an opportunity to move the crap up out of here, okay? So, all right, guys, have a beautiful weekend. I am so excited to see you guys on Tuesday again because I have a very special session I'm releasing. So, enjoy and let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you later. I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.